We are live. Ah, this is what I forgot to do last time. I forgot to link YouTube with the other stuff. Hello, everyone. My name is Elliot Miller. I am a real estate professional and a real estate investor. I do a few other things too, but my main focus real estate. But I'm here today um, because I would like to create a channel that we could have good discussions between men and women about relationships today. Um, because anybody that knows me will tell you the main thing that I talk about if you're going to be in my company is we talk about women, we talk about money, and we talk about helping people. Other than that, Elliot ain't talking about too much, foolishness. And even if I don't like to be around people that complain, just that negative energy. Um, so uh, got it right this time. So this will be my second video I'm starting. So my topic today is should men date younger women? And I say yes. One thing that I noticed is that let me just give a few stories. Because it's a big thing. Because people are, Ellie, you're a storyteller. Okay, so one thing that I noticed, I can remember me being young. Let's flip this for a second. Let's say Elliot dating, uh, let's imagine me 19 years old dating a woman that's 40. I can remember times to a woman, oh, let me, coming on to me, asking me, want to show me things, or I'll show you something so you know how to treat a woman and care for a woman. And I'm like, okay, okay, we can see. So one thing that I noticed about dating some of the a young man dating an older woman, it was almost like these women that I dated. Um, we're talking about older women dating a younger guy for right now. So these older women, they would cook, clean, want to uh, make sure they cater to me, right? And I was like, wow, I said, this is nice. But then, oh my God, then I started realizing a little bit later, don't you hear this? Somebody dang on texting me. So what I noticed was a little while later and start to go throughout life, now let's say me being close to 30, a little over 30-year-old, I start noticing that I was always wondering why these older women would like be alone, you know? And it's like these were really, really nice, lively, good spirited women, but they're alone, single. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So then the more I start asking questions, I found out that maybe they had some relationship trauma, maybe something happened, during their childhood, or they had bad experiences through past breakups, relationships, and it's almost like they were a little bit detached, you know. And not only that, I could see like some of them like a little bit masculine in a way, in a sense. That's my experience dating some of the older women. But then I was like, why? Why is this woman? She's so sweet, caring, loving, but she's 40 years old or 30 some 35, and I'm only like 21 or 22. Why is good woman still out here? But then I started realizing as I grew older, and now I'm dealing with the more than let's imagine me being 30 years old, and now I'm talking to women, uh, 35, 30, older than me, and same thing, cook, clean thing. But you know what? attitude. The attitude did it for me. And I'm thinking like, huh, okay. And I start seeing this. Now the other thing comes with this is that made me think about this was you hear this thing about the passport bros with men leaving the US and western parts of the world to talk and be with more feminine, cooperative, submissive women overseas. But I tend to think you probably can find a woman in the US that's cool too. But I think in other societies, like maybe in Africa, maybe some parts of Eastern Europe and Asia, and Asian women are the most sought after women. I saw a statistic that came out like maybe a year ago or so on that about Asian women being the number one sought after women. But then um, because they're more submissive to the man. And that's one thing that I notice about, it's like the difference in cultures. But then if I'm going to talk about women in the US being older and alone, but then dating younger men, at my age at the time, dating women 10, maybe 15 years older than me. And I'm like, why are these women single? But then I noticed that they had attitude. Now, I don't know what the heck happened, but I eventually cut my hair probably like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know what happened. I had women, and I worked at a hospital, so I had women uh, from different ethnic groups, different cultures, just eyeing, giving me looks. And one thing I noticed is that when someone likes you, if you want to know if you're attractive, when someone knows that you're an attractive person, you say hi and they look at you, give you eye contact, and they do this and they look back. They think you're attractive, men or women. The other thing is, I know if a woman was attracted to me, it's like show me her neck. But so that's how I know that woman be attracted to me. And I was like, huh. But then I don't know what the heck happened. It was like more of the younger women, like maybe 10, 15 years old, younger, were like more attracted to me. But I never tried to date younger women because there was this uh, like stigma or something, or maybe it was taboo for you hear stuff people say, oh, what that man doing with that younger woman and blah 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 blah. It's like one of my buddies told me his wife saw me out driving my big buddy Benz. So it says, yeah, he got that car to get them young women. That's what them old men do and get them young women car. So I thought that was funny. But it ain't that. It ain't getting materialistic things to give to the young woman that these older men are wanting to be with the younger woman. Is just that it's peace. Like it's like you don't argue like that. It's like you communicate like we normal adults. Uh, it's just peace. Dealing with a woman that may be 10 or 15 years younger. Like I didn't like maybe like a couple of years ago. I did not know this until I started looking at YouTube and guys were talking about how like uh, women that like over 25 and over 27, and once she hits like the wall and being over 35 to where she can't have kids, um, those women, uh, those women uh, are a little bit difficult to deal with, and it's not that maybe that they're difficult. Maybe I try to have a little bit more patient and try to be a little bit understanding about people's situation. So I noticed that with a lot of women that may be over 25 or 27, It's like I would say we all need some type of therapy, you know, because what segregation and everything's, didn't end it until like what is that, the 1960s or something. So you have it to where things are changing now. So uh, things have changed and it has gotten better. But where the hell was I going with that? Because it's like people when they talk to me, they're like, 1 minute earlier hearing this story, next thing they hear this story, and I said, wait a minute, I'm trying to bring you on back, So, so yeah, but this was the crazy thing. Well, back to it. Got it now. This is why I need a teleprompter. And I don't know why somebody just keeps texting me, or my cell phones just keep going off while I'm doing this live. It's crazy. But and it must have my train of thought. But what I noticed was that maybe some of these women, 25 and older, close to 30 and stuff like that, they've gone through, well, we could say, oh, these women have gone through heartbreaks and things. Men have done as well too. We men, we do the same thing too. It's just that we don't try to show those emotions that we are hurt in relationships. We hurt because we tell our boys and do things in secretive, with our homies, and go out to a nice little bar, a nice little restaurant, and huddle up and we talk about relationships between our relationship problems and or issues with whomever women so and he's even in the discussions between us in the barbershops, and we could go on all day talking about our relationships, and but it's almost like in the U.S., men kind of like don't stand up for themselves and just talk about what they dislike or how women should change or how we should work together. Like I was reading this one good book, and it was saying that we need to try to understand that none of us, masculine or feminine is better than the other. You being a feminine, cooperative, submissive woman to your husband or to your man, that doesn't make you equal. I mean, that doesn't make you less equal than your man. You have to understand that the two work together, the masculine and the feminine. So if I am your man and you're my woman, you should understand that, okay, most women want a provider, male provider, and that's even when you look at human nature and evolution and biology, you'll see that everything is just evolution. There's no difference. But what I noticed was that we need to work together, the masculine and feminine. There are some things that my woman is going to be better at than me. There's certain skills that she has. The way a woman thinks is different from a man. That's why, like, when I have discussions with women, I tell them when they say, oh, I want a man as this, and I want a man as this, and I want him to be loyal, I want him to be this, I want him to be funny, I want him to be this, and I would like if he does this, if he travels and he does this and that. I said, that's what you like to do. Not only is that what you like to do, even if you're telling a man, oh, I want a monogamous man, uh, you thinking like a woman. Because what I go to is, if you look at biology and religion, we could talk about the Quran, we could talk about the Bible. Many prophets, you'll see that many prophets had multiple wives. So it's not really in a man's nature. So when I hear women discuss things, they're talking about uh, they're talking about themselves. And just it's basically like someone talking to you and they're telling you stuff, but they're transferring everything what they think and whatever onto you, whatever energy that is. Uh, and this is just a freestyle video. I know I should be making my well, I made some notes, and today I was just doing so many things, but I made some notes, but then I also realized it's like this is an interesting topic because I never thought about dating younger, but what I started noticing, I was like, if me being, I'm 38, so if me being 38 years old, dating a woman that's 21, 22, 23, because I always say you got to be 20 something, 20 something to do something. I like that. So my thing is like, I found like there's so much peace, fun, laughter, and the respect is still there. And some women that's older kind of like talk down about the young. Oh, you want that young woman, so um, you can try to. What do you say? I had one girl tell me, what this nurse at the hospital. Oh, you're trying to train her. I'm like, hell yeah. That's what you're trying to see. I was like, yeah. I said, I would think that my woman, I need to get her to understand what I like and how I do things the same way. I'm going to try to reciprocate. Well, I can't speak for every man because I'm just speaking for myself. I try to reciprocate the energy that I get back in relationships. Um, and even when it's like the negative energy stuff, I try to be good, but sometimes I have my moments. Let's just say that. Um, but yeah, I always would feel bad about dating younger women, but now I'm like, man, I'm like the older woman, like over 25, 26, I said, it's like either they're difficult, the bad attitude. Um, and I know it's just another difference when you're thinking about different ethnic groups. Like one girl, I remember I was working one night at the hospital. One young lady, she says to me, "Ellie, you don't like a woman with a little bit of spice?" I was like, "You take that spicy shit right on over there." That was my exact words. Excuse my language, because I want to be clean saying it. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about, was the fact that I used to be, uh, I never, really looked at no woman that was younger than me and thing. And I know, like most guys would say, like older guys say, oh, you need to get a woman half your age plus 7. And I didn't realize that. I'm like, but then it's like, okay, we men, we also like beauty and youth. Like I went out to dinner a couple of days ago, and this one young lady I was with, she says, I was telling her something about, hey, you need to check out this guy, if he likes you, so and so. And she was like, no, I'm not like that and thing. And uh, so I'm thinking, and she won't tell me her age. She's a very sweet young lady. So I said, huh. But eventually she said something, man and woman. I said, wait a minute. We was looking at women wearing nice, revealing clothing. Well, I won't say nice, but revealing clothing. So she was like, "Oh, men should be looking for more than that." I did exactly just like that. I was just like, so eventually, when I did that, I was like, "You thinking like a woman?" I said, "Because with most men, we don't we're trying to." Uh, most men, if you're only as good as your options. So Yeah, I was just like, nah. I was like, some men, they're gonna take what they can get, you know, and if that's what they can get, they don't care how that woman look, you know. They just know that they got her, you know, and that's his woman. So they're going to care about beauty, but then we also want feminine, cooperative women. Nobody's saying that, oh, he's submissive and she got to do this. Because I always say this: anytime that I've met a woman, I would say you don't have to cook. I eat one time a day most times, and you know, mostly fasting. And I know that as you age, your metabolism goes down. So I try to be mindful of what I put in my body. Uh, so yeah, so that's my uh, little bit of take on uh, should men date younger women, even though I was all over the place because he said I had a story, this story, all over the place. But I just realized that that's just me. You know, just like um, men, certain things that they're not going to get from their women. Pause. Got a great thing to share. I don't know if I read this in a book or if I saw it in an article or so. They said that some men, when a man has been in a long marriage with his wife, sometimes when the wife gets too busy working and everything, and she's working just as much as him, she's not, you know, really showing him some type of love, affection. There's not really no peace and joy in the home. Sometimes the father, if they have a child and it's a daughter, the father would then spend time and do more things with the daughter, you know, because she has that joyfulness, play about her, play about herself, you know. It's so young, you know, and even in like when I've like read like articles or certain books to where how like these kings and whatever would date like women like no, it's too young because I wouldn't 20 something to do something. uh got to be at least 20 something to do something. So, you know, men like youth and beauty. And one thing that I notice about these older women, it's like they don't have that girlful like playfulness in them, you know, and that's what's missing from the relationship. The little smile and playing, and you know, just happy. Uh, and I would say sometimes you are what you attract, but then at the same time, you know, I think the age does play a factor when choosing um, women today. So sometimes I think, okay, men shouldn't, you know, go, you know, be traveling. I'm in a different country right now as myself, other than the U.S., but I won't disclose my location. So uh, what I notice is that regardless of men traveling to different things, they still are getting like feminine, fit, cooperative women. Now, I would say like some guys, I don't know what they choosing because I was just like, you went over there for that, but you like what you like. Um, but this was just a freestyle, so it's not like I'm reading off anything. But I know I need to get a prompter. But I just wanted to be a little authentic in my way of thinking so you understand who I am a little bit and how my brain tends to work is usually all over the place. Sometimes um, some of my colleagues would say, you need to give that thing a rest. But it's just that is like this is like always talking about being successful, building wealth, relationships, and helping people. Um, but that is my just on why men should date younger women is because the youth, beauty, and playfulness um, that they give off. Um, it was a long video, but like I said, I just wanted to do this little freestyle to just eventually put a video up, making sure it was authentic, making sure it was me, making sure that eventually my potential viewers, inshallah, will get to get a little glimpse of who I am. And I will thank you for watching.